Now, welcome back, y'all. Did y'all watch episodes 7 through 9? Because I feel like a lot happened, but then a lot didn't really happen, okay? Because the juicy stuff is coming later on this week, but we got to get into these episodes because we are already one couple down. And I'm not sure if some people are surprised, but let's get a therapist's perspective on all of it. Now, if you're new here, I'm Denise Brady. Yes, as you can see, I'm not in my office today. Your girl be busy. I be trying to make these videos and bust them out for y'all, okay? So we are at the crib. Welcome to what is my room right now. But if you have not liked, subscribed, make sure you do the do's because you don't want to miss nothing. And y'all need the tea on all these couples from a therapist's perspective. Now, we start off on the beach. People are still in the bubble. We're in the honeymoon era, but the cracks are cracking, okay? Jeremy and Laura are still coming off of that whole debacle on the beach. And it's interesting how Laura, to me, takes no accountability, okay? Jeremy takes all of the accountability. I was wrong. I'm sorry. But Laura is like, you should have kept that to us. Some of the stuff we talk about is just for me and you because she got put on blast, okay? Now her soon-to-be or not be fiance at this point did what she told him to do, or he was going to, until everything blew up. Now, the one thing I will fault them both about is that when you are in a relationship, marriage, relationship, you don't want to go to bed upset with the other person or ice them out. Sometimes you don't go to bed pissed off. We can't help it. We're all human. But icing out the other partner is not really healthy. And if you want to be in a long-term relationship, you have to learn how to convey how you're feeling, address it, get uncomfortable. Relationships at times are very uncomfortable. So to me, they're already okay. Red flags right there, okay? And then we get over to Kenneth and Brittany on the boat. The silence was loud, okay? We saw them cracks. And at that point, I was like, have we even seen them kiss? I think we've seen them hold hands at this point, but where's the physical chemistry? Because as we soon saw when we got home, reality checked in. Reality hit him. And so many people on social media are saying they broke up because of AD. If AD hadn't had this conversation with Kenneth, they'd still be together. They might be together, but it wasn't going to last, okay? There was a lot of undertones of just like hiding from the obvious. He's black, she's white. There's a lot of cultural differences there. Raising a child who's coming from a home of interracial parents, living in the South, the political climate that we live in. And so many people don't want to address the race thing, but they would rather address and blame AD. AD has been the target this whole season for a lot of y'all issues. She's triggering y'all. It shows that y'all need help about some things if y'all let this one black woman get to y'all so bad. Even her getting to the point where her presence was almost going to break up Jeremy and Laura. Work through your mess, okay? Same thing with Jimmy and Chelsea. This one black woman made y'all both feel so uncomfortable that y'all relationships start to see some cracks because of that main character energy, okay? But so many people want to hate on her and say, oh, she's using her body, she was flirting. Instead of addressing the miscommunication, all the race stuff, let's focus on what we see, what's really happening. Let's dig a little bit deeper. But instead, a lot of people are so comfortable staying on the surface issues and paying attention and pointing the fingers. But let me point the finger back at myself. What's going on with me that this one woman is making me feel a certain way? Okay, so once Kenneth and Brittany get back home, it starts to go away. Whatever was happening in them pods stayed in them pods. It didn't come out with them. The initial shock, the initial like, oh, I'm so into you, it faded away. And one thing about Kenneth that I do have to fault him for, you need to stay off your phone. To me, the phone was used as avoidance. When he gets uncomfortable, it's like, okay, I'll just escape into work. I'll escape into my phone. Whenever there was some kind of thing that Brittany brought up that she wanted to talk about, there was the phone. He needs to learn how to really address what's going on, not be so much in his phone. That was a lot of the issues was that he was on his phone. If he was able to be present, but the phone is a way for him to disconnect. And a lot of people, I think, use their phones to disconnect from reality, and not address what's really going on. And so we saw them crumble, because you can have everything on paper, but there was no physical chemistry. There wasn't that crave, as she described it. She wanted to crave him, but it just wasn't there. And I think him having the reality check from AD, meeting with his mentors, the reality of it all, people who really influence him in his life, his friends, his family. And I told y'all, as much as he said his friends and family would be cool with it, I'm sure Kenneth has been in situations, friends, family, where he's been around a lot of black people. And when you've been around a lot of black people, you bringing in something different, it ain't gonna sit well. And so he could have, to me, when she was like, okay, Kim, this isn't working, I'm emotional, comfort her. Put the phone down. Go hold her. But instead it was like, hey, I ain't your man. I hope you find him. Anyway, I'm going with the boys. I was almost gonna cuss, but I know YouTube. Pack your bags. Bye. See you later. I'm going upstairs. It was, to me, he did not show up as a husband. I'm like, where's the husband actions? When she was sitting there crying, comfort her. Come on. And it's only, 20 days into the relationship, 14 days or something. I think there could have been more conversation. You guys, they could have worked on things. And also, can attraction be developed? Can that be something you work on? But it's a wrap. Now, we're going to move on to Jimmy and Chelsea. Him calling her clingy. Okay. Chelsea reminds me a lot of Danielle. They had the dynamic of Danielle. I forgot what season it was that Danielle had all those insecurities. Every time her insecurities came up, it would become like a dramatic big argument. Here, it's not such a dramatic thing, but they're in this toxic cycle. She pulls him in. He doesn't know how to emotionally attune her to her feelings. And then it just becomes this like cluster of just them arguing really about nothing, when the core issue is that she wants to feel heard, need, and wanted. And as much as he presumes that he's doing that, he's really not. At times he gaslights her. And to be intimate with someone, then say, well, I needed space after that. How do you be intimate with someone and then say you need space? So basically, I wanted some, so I got it. But really, I just wanted some and not you attached to that. That's what it came off to me. Now, when she went and met his friends, to me, I wonder how women feel when they get with a man who has a lot of female friends, especially a woman who's insecure. And I think that's going to come up later, as we see in the previews, when she's saying, hey, you slept with this person. I was wondering if Jimmy slept with one of his friends. That never came up, but I think it will in the future. But let me know, have you ever been with a person who has a lot of female relationships? Can you get past a person who has a lot of female relationships and have yourself come in? Now, is she clingy? I don't know if I'll use the word clingy, but she is kind of needy. She needs constant reassurance. But if he wasn't the way he was, she wouldn't need that constant reassurance. She should have chose Trevor, but here we are. It is what it is. Okay. Now, let's move on to Laura and Jeremy. Laura don't like this man. She reminds me a lot of Stacy from last season. Nitpicky, trying to fix him, get rid of them Hawaiian shirts, the ick. She's one of those girls, the ick. Girl, you ick. Okay? And your mama messy too. So now the mama, posted some stuff about his ex-fiance. I see where she get it from. Her mama is messy. Okay? She's a person who's going to nitpick her partner to death until he becomes submissive and becomes what she wants. Now, this to me is an example of the emasculation of a man. She, to me, emasculated him so much, not giving him excuses, y'all, but he ran over there to Uptown. Now, was he sitting in his car the whole time? I don't think so. But I guess deny until you have evidence. He's like, I shared my location. And at first she said she didn't know where he really was. And then she said she saw a location. It was kind of confusing. And a lot of people think that Laura is a plant. I'm kind of wondering too about Laura. Are you a plant? Because the way you linked up with Jessica at the bar, y'all was wearing the same outfit. It felt really pre-production. Like, it was a scene, okay? And somebody actually said that these two are best friends outside of the show. Y'all need to fact check that, because I don't know if that's really true, but that scene of them sitting at the bar kind of being messy about Stacy, the DMs, her meeting up with eventually meeting up with Jimmy, it was just like a bunch of mess. Okay, it was just too messy. Laura and Jeremy can get together. I don't know if he slept with old girl in the car or he went back to her house with her, but something went on. I don't know no man who's gonna sit in a car for 5-6 hours with a woman he never seen before, who he's now physically attracted to, and he's having issues in his own current relationship, that's not gonna tippy-toe back up them stairs and into her house. Okay, y'all know where I'm going. Something happened there. I don't know if we've ever seen a season where a man cheated on one of the contestants. This might be a first. Let me know, has that happened in the past where somebody cheated while they're waiting to get married? Okay, but I need to move on because this video's getting kind of long. Now let's get to Amy and Johnny. Amy and Johnny is interesting because of the biggest problem that they have is birth control and not having a baby. If that's your biggest issue and that's really going to break you up, were you really meant together in the first place? Now, having the man get a vasectomy, I do think, you know, sexual health is important on both parts. Everyone has a role. I feel like a vasectomy is more permanent and a little bit more difficult to go back on, whereas birth control is a little bit easier. But, you know, her choice, her body. They need to come together and come to a consensus. He's really afraid of having a child too soon. And I don't know if that's the way he grew up, because he grew up in a household where his father wasn't present. What's going on there? Because I see some childhood stuff popping up. But to me, they're kind of boring. And they got too many scenes. I feel like they got more scenes because I don't know what was happening, but we didn't get a lot of Clay and AD these, you know, episodes. What was really going on? Is he working a lot? Is what's going on? Because we didn't get too much of them this season, these episodes, compared to in the beginning. But Jeremy and Johnny are they're kind of boring. They're gonna get married and we'll probably never hear from them again. The same way they did the Browns. I think it's the Browns. It's not that their love story is boring, it's just they're happy, and I think there's no drama in that couple. So they're happy, they're living in Seattle, Oregon, wherever Nike is putting him nowadays. They're just really happy. So I think that Johnny and Amy are gonna do the same thing. They're gonna get married. We won't really see much of them because there's not a lot of drama. Unfortunately, drama sells. So it's probably gonna be a wrap for them. Are there any other couples that I really did not go over? Oh, I guess we could talk a little bit about Clay and AD. I made a separate video about AD already and Clay. I think it was very good that he had that transparent conversation about his father's relationship with him. We don't talk enough about Black men and mental health. There's a lot of stigma. I think there's a lot of blame, and people are just so like, how now he's blaming his father for his issues. The people who talk about that don't know the connection between how that foundation of your parents, those relationships, really set you up for the future. And because he saw his father as a playboy, his father was in those streets, he cheated on his mother. That's why he is the way he is. But it sounds like he wants to work through it, but he's still kind of like fearful of failing her. He's just not ready for marriage. He needs to do some work on himself. They have two separate like careers, very fast-paced careers. She got 2 businesses. He trying to do some other stuff. He has long hours, has to drive a lot. It's not gonna work. I really wanted to, but they're in 2 separate places, okay? And I'm sure once the reunion comes, it's gonna be like, we were bouncing back and forth, we hooked up here and there, we tried to make it work. The D was good, but they couldn't make it work. So episodes 7 through 9, a little lackluster. The real stuff is about to come in the next couple episodes. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think that you relate to any of these couples? Who's really gonna make it? Right now, I'm aiming for Johnny and Amy. But do you think anyone else will get married? And if they do get married, do you think they'll last long enough for a reunion? But make sure you like, subscribe, show your girl some love. What were your thoughts on 7 through 9? And I will catch you in the next video. Bye!